What's up, guys? Salute! Welcome back to Country Bunkers Trains. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a good week. I did want to take a quick minute and wish everybody an early happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'll see you before then, so I wanted to get that out there. I hope you have a great one. I've been real busy the last couple of weeks here in the train room, and we've finally got a new scene on the O-gauge layout. Today I figured we'd check it out, and for those that are interested, do a little quick going over on what it took to get this scene where it is. Without any further ado, what do you say we jump right into it? You guys ready to check out the new scene? There she is. Check that out. That's right, guys. We finally got a farm scene here on the O-gauge layout, and I'm super excited about it. I've been wanting to do a farm scene with the trains for many, many years, all the way back to my childhood. I've always held off on doing one for the simple fact a farm scene, a decent one in my opinion, takes up a lot of acreage on the layouts. As you can see, this takes up quite a bit of space. In fact, I was originally intending to do this whole upper deck of the layout, or the upper section, as the farm scene itself. A couple months back, my folks picked me up this Menards church, which I definitely wanted to try and get that incorporated up here as well. So I did have to compress down the size of the farm quite a bit, but I think it worked out overall. Everything's still not on top of each other. It's still spaced out and gives a nice, impressive look. And we were able to incorporate another scene up top. I think it came out quite well. I did have to take a couple liberties with this scene. It didn't turn out exactly as I had originally planned or originally intended. But hey, that's life. Just like everything else, you gotta roll with the punches and do the best with what you can and what you have available to you. And we'll go over those liberties here in just a few moments. The one thing I am very happy with overall on this scene is we are sticking to our original plan or our original goal of incorporating hillsides and different elevations on this layout. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we're not doing any big mountainous or ravine scenes up on this upper deck. We just got some smaller hills installed. But even these smaller hills help add a lot to the layout. Just having these smaller hills gives the layout more of a realistic look or a realistic feel and adds a lot of depth to the layout. And overall, it's just a lot better to look at than just a big flat table, if you know what I mean. I will say it has proven to be a little more challenging installing hills and whatnot on this upper deck, a lot more so than it is on the lower or main deck of the layout. Down here we have an elevated line that has inclines and declines. A lot easier to incorporate hills and whatnot into that track section going up and down, versus up here on the upper deck, everything's completely flat. So it's hard to incorporate the hills and make it look somewhat natural looking, if you know what I mean. But I think overall we're doing a decent job of it. Obviously, we've got our bigger hills in the back corners, and we got our smaller ones on the sides of the track, and now we've got this farm up on a little hill as well. The first item to tackle for this new scene was, of course, installing our hillside for the farm. For that, we used our good old trusted friend, foam insulation. Got it cut and carved and glued down to the table. Looks a little goofy at first, but hey, it pulls it off quite well in the end. Along with this, we also installed our Woodland Scenics utility pole set. I really love these things. They look a little goofy here on a flat surface with nothing on it, but for a finished scene, they really add a lot to it. And then we started working our way from the back forward, accessing the hard-to-reach places that I won't be able to access once stuff goes up. But we start off with our ground cover and also got our pasture fencing installed for the animals soon to come. Along with the utility poles, we're also utilizing their Transformer Connect set. These are pretty neat. These come with a little transformer that attaches to the utility pole already in place, the little substation pole that goes down to the house or building you're looking to bring power into, and of course it also comes with a little meter and conduit for the wire to be attached to. That can be attached to the home or building, whatever's getting power. Really cool little set. It did prove to be a bit difficult to work with while being on top, crouching down on the layout. But hey, we got it installed. I will say these are intended to be used. One pole is used for a set of two houses. Obviously, we did not use them in this manner. We've got one here on the barn, as well as one on the house. The transformer has a second line coming down off of it. I just removed it. We're only using one line or one side of the transformer. But hey, I don't think anybody's going to notice or care. With the Transformer Connect sets and buildings in place, we just continued working our way forward, installing our various ground covers and accessories and whatnot. One thing I did not get a good picture of beforehand on the front was installing the little driveway hills going up to the farm. This was done and accomplished with just some cardboard and some carved up to fit insulation on the sides of the hills to make it blend into the main hill. I think it came out decent. For those of you interested, here's a quick look at the various products used to create the ground cover on this scene. And this is actually in line with how I use them. Starting out for our dirt, our main covering, you guys I'm sure know I love this brown fine ballast. There's definitely cheaper and other alternatives out there to this. This is definitely one of the more expensive routes, but I really like this stuff and how it turns out. And it's super easy to use, comes in a jar and it's ready to go. But that's the first thing to go down. And then for our grassy areas, I first give it a light dusting of blended turf. And then for the thicker bushes and underbrush, of course, we got olive green underbrush, medium green underbrush. Then I go over top of that with this conifer coarse turf. And then one last coating of this light green coarse turf. This makes everything kind of pop and gives it some color. And sometimes I might come back and sprinkle a little more blended turf on top of everything to kind of blend it in all together. That way nothing ever sticks out or looks out of place. Now, obviously, the amounts vary depending on what you're personally trying to accomplish with your own setup. What I was trying to shoot for with this scene, obviously, we got our lawn up here in between the barn and the house. I wanted this to look like a well-kept-up, normal, everyday lawn that gets mowed. So all that is blended turf applied over the dirt. I think that came out decent. And then for all the other areas that maybe there's not a whole lot of foot traffic, or maybe, they're just not taking care of it, that's where all of our bushes and brushes and undergrowth comes in and pokes itself up. I think it adds a lot. It really adds a lot to the scene, breaks up the monotony of the scene, if you will. For our pasture, I did take some blended turf and lightly sifted it all throughout the pasture just to try and make it look like a realistic pasture. Obviously, the animals are in there stomping around and eating the grass and whatnot. I think it came out decent. Let me know what you think in the comments below. With the driveway hills installed, we continued working our way forward with the ground cover. Could also start installing all of our little accessories and add-on pieces. All of these came from various manufacturers, places like Woodland Scenics, JTTs, as well as Bachmann, and of course various model manufacturers for the vehicles and whatnot. But yeah, some decent stuff. I think it played off well with each other. Where the liberties were taken with this scene is actually here up front. This UFO scene. Now don't get me wrong, I do really like this scene. It's a real cool piece. Obviously I do, I bought it a couple years back. In fact, I think this is one of the very first pieces that put Menards on the map for O-gauge buildings and accessories. It's just a really cool piece. But like I say, I really wasn't planning on using this scene, or this piece in this scene. As much as I do like it, I don't think it really fits quite as well into the scene. I have done some stuff to it to make it blend in a little bit better, and it did come out pretty good. But what I was originally intending to do was have this whole area be a crop field, have this all be corn. In fact, I cut out and made my crop field to fit in this area. I had 5 packs of these JTT corns that I was going to use, these corn stalks, and I started installing the corn on the field. Well, I got through all 5 packs, 140 of them, and you can see how far they went. Not very far. As cool as the corn is, and as awesome as I think it looks, I'm not spending another $500-600 on corn stalks just to fill this field in. As cool as it might be, no, I'm not spending that much money. So in came the UFO. As I mentioned in a previous video, we had this to fall back onto, and we might try and incorporate it, and obviously we did. Here's a quick look at that crop field that I was making and intending on installing. Like I say, it would have looked really, really cool. But like you see, the corn I had did not go far. This was already $60 worth of corn. You could imagine how much it would have taken to complete this board and fill it out. I did have to install my own ground cover onto this piece, as the original grass or grass mat that was installed was just way too light of a green. I wanted this to fit into the scene a little bit better. It was pretty easy to do though, just glued on my own flocking material and got it blended in. I will say I did go a bit overkill on the ground cover around the scene. I'm not overly ecstatic with that. I'll probably add or include some trees in front of it in the future. But I did this in an effort to hide the board that this piece is placed on or built on. And I think we did accomplish that at least. Some of the last finishing touches on this scene, I did install a couple trees. We got this one right here, as well as the one back there by the house. I didn't want to go crazy with trees over on this side of the table, as honestly it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. You don't normally see a whole lot of trees on a farm. And of course we got our windmill. We don't want that being blocked by trees. And our huge wind turbine in the back corner, you don't want that to be blocked as well. So like I say, not a whole lot of trees over here. I probably will, as mentioned, come back. I might place a couple up here to try and blend in and hide all this ground cover. We'll see what happens in the future. One of the very last steps we did as well was got our bridge just about completely ballasted. That's all glued down and looking good. But yeah, pretty cool. Like I say, super excited to have a farm scene on the layout. I'm very happy with it for the most part. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, not that it's going to be all that much exciting, but what do you guys say we christen the new scene in Upper Deck and run an engine for the first time through the new track? We've yet to do that on this Upper Deck, and we can finally at least run a little bit over here on this corner of the layout. Along with all the scenery work, I also got all the track work finalized and made all the adjustments. So this is now ready to run when we finally hook up the other half of this loop. But yeah, let's check it out. Let's run a train on the Upper Deck. Pretty cool. I like this old Type V. I dug it back out. I think I'm going to use this to power the accessories over here on this layout. I still got to power up the barn and the house and whatnot, but I'm waiting till the very end as far as I can stretch it. I've got other accessories that I need to get placed over here as well, and I don't want to crawl under the table more than I have to. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff. Like I say, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Once again, guys, a very happy Thanksgiving, albeit a little bit early. But hey, it's Thanksgiving week we're coming upon. I hope you have a great one. I hope you enjoyed this little video on the new farm scene of the O-Gauge layout. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. But anyways, guys, until next time, my name is Zach, and this is Country Bunkers Trains. Y'all take care. I'll see you the next go-around.